Thank God you came. How many more days could I wait? Make plans with you, and I won't let them fall through. I think I lie for you. I think I die for you. Jealousy cry for you. Do things when you want me to. Like controller. Yeah, like control. Don't work like that when you love somebody. My old flex is my new flex now, and we're working on it. That's why I need all the energy that you bring to me. My last girl would tear me apart, but she never wanna split a thing with me. But when it comes to you, I think I'd lie for you. I think I'd die for you. Do things when you want me to, like controller. Like controller. Yeah. I never wanna waste these shots. I do it how you say you want it. Them girls, they just wanna take my money. They don't want me to give you nothing. They don't want you to have nothing. They don't wanna see me for your love. They don't wanna see me smiling like when they baby.
As I celebrate Juneteenth, as we celebrate the slaves, the prisoners of war who survived, as I'm walking and flying into Juneteenth with gratitude and for the resilience and determination of my ancestors, on whose shoulders I stand tall. This is Oma at Officially Black Tie Tatted. Hit that like button, share, and subscribe. And to my supporter over there at Earth Journey at Officially Black Tie Tatted, I love you and thank you for your support. This is Oma at Officially Black Tie Tatted. Hit that like button, share, and subscribe. And remember, Eagles.
Hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Remember, Eagles flies with Eagles. All right now, hit the like button, share, and subscribe. This is Arthur Oma, and remember,
Eagles flies with Eagles.
Diddy Combs' sex trafficking and racketeering trial now in its final stage. Prosecutors presenting their closing arguments today, this after more than 6 weeks of testimony.
He just may walk free. Now, they're dropping some of those charges. Will Diddy walk free?
But very graphic. The jury hearing from more than 30 witnesses, including Combs' ex-girlfriends, former assistants, male escorts, security guards, even another rapper and rival. The prosecutor, in closing, calling Combs the leader of a criminal enterprise who didn't take no for an answer, saying Combs, quote, forced and manipulated Cassie Ventura and Jane to have sex with escorts for his own entertainment, and used power, violence, and fear to get what he wanted. Combs is the only defendant, but the prosecutor told the jury he did not act alone, saying, quote, he managed to do this for 2 decades because he used his money, his influence, and his inner circle to cover up his crimes. It's his kingdom. Everyone was there to serve him. Combs' children were in the courtroom today, including his 19-year-old twin daughters, who haven't been there since the first days of the trial. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all charges. If convicted, He faces the possibility of life in prison. Later in the show, we have YouTube star Tisha Tells joining us live to talk about the commentary surrounding this high-profile trial. But first, let's begin tonight with ABC News Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katersky live outside the federal courthouse here in Manhattan. And Aaron, prosecutors gave their closing arguments to the jury. What was it like inside the courtroom today?
Oh, first of all, Eva, it was packed. For the first time since the beginning of the trial, every member of the Combs family was there, all 6 of his children, his mom. They all crowded into the row designated for family. At one point, Sean Combs even seemed to be, saying squished together a little bit to make room. But there were attorneys for some of the witnesses. The U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Jay Clayton, was in the room to hear prosecutors give their closing statement. So it was packed. But for the start anyway, Sean Combs appeared pretty relaxed. He walked into the courtroom, he put his hand over his heart, a gesture toward his family, and he's been reading a book, The Power of Positive Thinking.
I'm curious, how was Combs? You mentioned it a little bit there. Did he interact any more with his family? What was his interactions with his attorneys like today?
A bit with the family. He did scribble a number of notes during the prosecutor's summation, writing them on little Post-its, handing them over to his attorneys. But at one point, I thought it was interesting. He sat far back, his chair pushed far back from the table, away from his usual confiding position with his attorneys, Eva, and had his head down, whether in thought or reading notes. But it seemed a moment where he might have been as much as he can be these days by himself.
I'm curious, Aaron, how long did the government's closing arguments take today?
It was almost 5.
So they closed today, the closing argument. But what was so interesting in this trial is that the defense did not call any other witness. So they're saying that, is that a good idea? Does Diddy lawyer feel like they got this case all wrapped up? There's no need to call anyone. We do know that most people that did a deal with, they signed that paperwork where you can't say anything, NDA, whatever y'all call it. But will Diddy walk? Will he walk? What about the sex trafficking? No, they can't prove that. Bribery, they can't prove that. There's so much going on in here that they can't prove. But we do know that what we saw, the Cassie and him fighting, well, he was beating up Cassie by that elevator. That is a domestic violence case that doesn't fall under this. And I don't even know if he's on trial for that. But I do know one thing. Diddy may walk. He may walk, y'all. He just may walk. What do y'all think? Do y'all think? Let's see what they're saying. Do y'all think that Diddy will walk? Let's see what they're saying over here. If he's not convicted, it would be a signal to other people that they can do the same thing and get away with it. Well, Pink Beauty, we have so many of those celebrities that are getting away with it. Now, there's no crime in being a freak. Oh, he definitely was a freak. Let me pull this over. Let's see if we can see this over here. Okay. He definitely was a freak now. So there's not no crime in being a freak. Every time they testified that Diddy sits in the chair and do his thing while he watch. Beach Girl said, what is she doing next? ABC needs to hire her. Tisha will make a great addition to your team. You go, girl, you go. Tisha Tell, I like her too. She's a great content creator. Miss Ann said, give Tisha Tell a position on your staff. She is spot on with her journalism. Tisha has all the characteristics one needs. I'm here for Tisha Tell, Joyce said. Thanks, ABC, for sharing this amazing, beautiful, hardworking woman with us. Excellent cover. He has daughters and he does stuff like this. His son participate too. Yeah, that's what's so unfortunately about this trial. Diddy has children. These children it has to watch their daddy go through this trial, all this drama, all these nasty stuff coming out about their dad. But he's a porn star, a porn director. Call him what he really is, an amateur porn director. No matter what, Diddy career is over. His life is over. If he was to walk, no one would ever work with him again. No one would be able to trust him. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they make a movie out of this. Anyway, y'all remember this? When the bigot follow the black guy, that's his neighbor, you guys. Well, he was such a bigot till he gave his address out on the internet. And then he told everybody, you can want me, come get me, 3602. And they showed up. But anyway, updated man who went on racist rant sentenced to 8 years. My God. Let's see if this can come
Remember
out.
the racist guy we covered?
This undisputable.
Racist in front of the police, called everybody the N-word. But he cried in court because he got 8 years in prison to serve for. Let me remind you of the incident that made him indisputable famous.
Tuesday, the front in Cherry Hill, the daughter got smashed. Is that what you want? No. And you want to know where I was when all this happened? I don't care. At work, monkey. I don't care where you were. At morgue. Just like I told the Mount Laurel police, get these monkeys out of here and you can't. That's me talking. 3602, Gramercy Way, that's where I live. Come see me. Hey, White, why are you back over here?
Somebody called me.
Someone called you. It's private property. You have no jurisdiction here whatsoever.
No. Somebody called me.
Hold on.
Back up.
You know what? Hold on. No. I'm going to let you do your thing. Go talk to these. Go ahead. You go talk to let them know what I'm all about and what their rights they have.
All right. You want to go back down? I'll come back to you.
No, I'll stay right here. It's common property. Have a nice night. I'm going to let you guys get an education right now.
All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I'll do my job.
No problem. So I'm not going away until your husband stops finding me and threatening me while I'm at work.
Hey, cut it out, man.
Oh, hey,
talk to them.
Arrest me.
I'm not
you
arresting
can't.
you now. Relax.
Just
cut it out, dude.
That's what you see, Brandon. 3602 Gramercy Way. Come see me.
Oh, they came and saw him, all right. Put up the picture for a mask. This is a hell of a narrative. Now, the police said, I'm not going to arrest you. I have never heard a cop prophesy that they are not going to arrest somebody. First of all, you don't know the scene. Maybe he has done something illegal, which means you do need to arrest him, right? Well, the courtesies he received, he's the aggressor. The officer is saying, hey, just let me do my job here. I'm just here to do my job. 47-year-old Edward Matthews, the man from Mount Laurel, New Jersey, whose racist rant went viral in 2021, has been sentenced to 8 years in prison on Friday. He pleaded guilty in October to 4 counts of biased intimidation, as well as possession of a dangerous substance with intent to distribute. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he was talking all that ish and also a drug dealer. This is just insane. There's more. Per NBC 10, Philadelphia, an investigation into Matthews started around July 2nd, 2021, as the prosecutor said a resident went to the police department to file a harassment complaint against him. A short time later, officers responded to a residential neighborhood for a report of a man needing to be removed from the area. Upon arrival, officers found Matthews using racial slurs while engaging in verbal altercation with 4 residents, according to prosecutors. It was revealed during the investigation that he brought upon himself that Matthews had a pattern of abuse against his neighbors, including leaving a threatening note on one of their vehicles In addition to harassment and using racial slurs, Matthews was also accused of stalking and damaging his neighbors' vehicles and smearing, wait for it, feces on their windows. Videos of Matthews had gone viral showing him harassing and using racial slurs toward his neighbors. One of the videos showed Matthews repeatedly calling a black male a monkey and the N-word while bumping his chest and appearing to spit in his face. Days later, massive crowds of protesters formed outside of Matthews' home for hours in response to the video. So here's a recap of the protesters and his eventual arrest. It took all of this to get him removed. Here it is.
Get the strong arm, attorney John Foy and Associates. A big truck ruined your car and your career. Now the trucking company thinks they're going to bully you into a bad offer.
Don't get tricked, twisted, and trapped into a terrible settlement. Call me first.
So the police wouldn't do nothing. He gave his address and they showed up at his doorstep. Now he got the whole precinct protecting him. This bigot now.
Yeah. So he gave out his address. He told people pull up, and they obliged. That was an invitation. Okay. You cannot say trespassing when you invited individuals to your home. So those were his guests, ironically, based on law, invited them. There's more. The drug offense was filed after mushrooms were discovered during the search of Matthews' home, according to officials. So a recap of the prior incident where he admits to selling drugs. And says the cops won't help his black neighbors. Yeah.
I sell drugs. That's what I do. That's what I've always done around here. I stopped, went to prison 3 times. Now I have all the friends.
White privilege, y'all. White privilege. He just kept telling the cops to arrest the black guy, although he was the aggressor.
Cops, if you guys want to keep doing it this route, we're going to go the legal route. You're not going to get any help from the cops because they're my people. You understand?
Yeah.
That's why you're not getting anything. And I know that you said that. The cops came down and told me. They said, what do you want us to do? So you can figure that out. We're not trying to cause you a problem. You're not trying to cause us a problem, right?
I've never been trying to cause you a problem.
Right. So there's no reason for the cops to come back around. We should be perfectly cordial, be able to have these conversations and be able to live around here with no problem.
Yeah, but now what you're talking about, oh, the cops aren't going to help you or calling my brother. I don't bother you. I don't do
Calling your brother.
Yeah, you did do that.
No, I said, now I'm going to call the cops. That's what I said. I didn't call your brother. I said, now here I go, looking like a calling the cops. That's exactly what I said.
Well, we all heard
We all heard you?
We all heard it, yeah. Everybody outside. I couldn't believe it because I wasn't even in the argument.
Right, and you weren't even there either.
Yeah, and I came outside up top.
Keep doing what you're doing.
His mug shot again. The man went to the neighbor and said, listen here, I sell drugs. That's what I do. He should have been arrested when the officer first responded. For some reason, he was not. It took an entire community to accept his invitation to come to his home before an actual investigation happened and he then got arrested. He now has 8 years to serve 4. If he messes up inside of prison, they can max that time to the 8-year number. All right, Ricky, thoughts here?
Yeah, they sent the police officers out from the bar, but Joe went out there with all that patience or whatever, but they don't have that same kind of patience for African Americans. And he talked all that trash and gave out that address When they marched him out of the house, somebody had went to Dollar Tree and hit him in the head with a cheap photograph of Dr. Thunder on that.
Administration continues to offer for people to leave is just a fake promise.
The process seems simple. Book a flight and leave. Loya says it's actually pretty complicated.
There's actually no clear process. We as Casa de Paz have asked other attorneys, have asked other groups before, like what this means for community, what this means for process, and there's not a really clear.
So these undocumented immigrants seeking self-deportation turned away by ICE. Anyway, some of them are saying, I'm not waiting for you guys, ICE, to come get me. Bye, I'm out of here. So if you know you're undocumented, I think that would be the best thing to do. I would rather do that than to be locked up.
Answer.
She says people have tried turning themselves into ICE here in Colorado when self-deporting, but they're usually turned away.
They're at the end of like whatever situation they've been in. They're in desperation.
The Trump administration is now promising that migrants who self-deport and declare their decision on the CBP One app will receive $1,000 after they return to their home country.
No, I would not trust a single thing that this administration says because they currently have people sitting in El Salvador. What this current administration continues to offer for people to leave is just the fake promise.
There you have it. She said that fake promises because this administration said, well, if you leave voluntarily, you'll get $1,000 once you get in your homeland. And the young lady says, no, I don't trust it. Don't trust this administration.